They learn it through you. They borrow your calm. They borrow your stability. Which is why saying calm down, relax, don't cry doesn't work. They borrow your presence until the system slowly learns how to do it independently. And this borrowing is not so too much noise, too much stimulation, too much unpredictability can actually overwhelm both you and your child. And when that happens, behavior changes, not as a choice, but as a response to the overload. Because boundaries are not just words, they are carried through your body. Behavior is always communication, but not in language. First regulation, then connection, and only then if your body is in a state of stress, no amount of calm words will feel calm to your child. They may hear what you are saying, but they will feel something completely different. And children especially respond far more to what is felt than what is said. Your nervous system is constantly communicating with theirs, even in silence. And this communication happens through states. There are moments when your systems feel safe and connected, and there are moments when it shifts into protection, into activation, into shutdown. The same thing is true for your child. So when your child is screaming, resisting, or is completely overwhelmed, what you are seeing is not just their behavior. You are actually seeing a nervous system that has moved into survival mode. And if in that moment your system also moves into survival, then both of you are reacting, colliding, and no one is actually leading. This is why regulation becomes central. Because children do not learn to regulate on their own. They learn it through you. They borrow your calm. They borrow your stability. They borrow your presence until the system slowly learns how to do it independently. And this borrowing is not metaphorical, it is biological. Which is why saying calm down, relax, don't cry doesn't work. Because regulation is not something that can be instructed. Regulation is something which can be experienced, which can be created and crafted within. Regulation can certainly be borrowed from your senior members. So when you are regulated, your child feels regulated too. It has to be experienced, and your body is the environment in which that experience happens. So regulation has to be experienced. So the work begins with noticing your own state, because many times what looks like a strong reaction is actually a nervous system that has been carrying stress for a very long time. When the body is already overloaded, even small movements may feel too much. Noise feels sharper, resistance feels heavier, demands feel exhausting, and the response becomes disproportionate. Not because you inherited, but because your capacity is already reduced. And sometimes that response does not even look loud. Sometimes it looks like withdrawal, like shutting down, going silent, disconnecting from the moment, which is often misunderstood as calm, but is actually another form of protection and creating the layers. And when this becomes a pattern, it creates distance. Even without words, you do not feel connected with your children. And more than that, your kids, your children, they don't feel connected with you. That is why coming back into the body becomes essential. Because regulation is not a mental decision. It is a physical shift. Your breath, your posture, the way you hold yourself in a moment, all of it signals safety or threat, not just to you, but to your child. And something as simple as slowing your breath can begin to change the entire tone of interaction. Because breath does not just affect you, it affects the rhythm of the space you both are in. At the same time, it is important to recognize that not everything is emotional. Sometimes it is sensory. So too much noise, too much stimulation, too much unpredictability can actually overwhelm both you and your child. And when that happens, behavior changes, not as a choice, but as a response to the overload. Which is why awareness here reduces unnecessary conflict, because you are no longer reacting to the surface. You are understanding what is underneath it. And this understanding changes the way you set your boundaries as well. Because boundaries are not just words, they are carried through your body. A regulated tone, a steady presence, a calm behavior, a grounding and composed posture. These gestures communicate something which is very, very different from anger, tension, or urgency. And even your child responds to your body now very differently, because your child actually feels safe. Even when you are firm with them, even you are rigid and setting boundaries with them, your child feels safe. In the same way, connection is not always built through conversation. It is built through your tone, it is built through your presence, it is built through how you feel within yourself. It is often built through shared experience, through playing, through presence, through moments where there is no correction, no gyan, no teaching, just just being together. School is enough to teach them what they need to learn. You're not a teacher. Be there with them in experiencing something great and just be together there. Because play in itself is regulating. It allows the nervous system to process, to release, to restore balance. And when you enter that space with your child, the space of playing with them, you are not just engaging with them, you are repairing. While your child is flourishing as a kid, you're also healing your own inner child. And this brings to something very important, which is behavior is always communication, but not in language, in signals, in intensity, in rhythm, in patterns. And when you begin to observe all of this in this way, you stop asking, how do I stop this? And you start asking, what is this telling me? What is in it for me to infer? What is it that I can regulate through my response? And from there, you shift your relationship with your child, shifts from within. Because you're no longer trying to control, you're trying to understand. And even in moments of correction, which as a parent you will, the sequence matters. If the body is not calm, nothing lands. If your body is tight, rigid, alarming, and it's about to charge, your child will be frightened. It will not register or understand anything. Nothing would land onto them. If there is no connection, nothing is ever received. Which is why it always begins the same way. First regulation, then connection, and only then the guidance. Because learning does not happen in survival. It happens in safety. Learning happens in security. And all of this brings you back to one simple truth. You cannot think your way into a regulated home. You have to build it through your body, through your presence, and through the way you show up from moment to moment to moment. If this resonates with you, then you already know that this is not about learning more information. It is actually about practicing something quite different. And this is exactly what we teach in our reversal parenting program. If you're interested and if you feel you're eligible and you need this, find the link in the description. It is a 4-hour workshop. Show up not just for you, but for your child as well. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.